Blackouts this summer. Yay. Oh. Time for what? Parades, hot dogs, summer fun, swimming, and
blackouts.
Civil unrest. Yeah, blackouts. Hopefully not civil unrest, but blackouts, according to our good friend Uncle Sam, who loves us dearly, is saying be ready because we can't hold the power supply for you. The power grid's going down. So hopefully not the neighborhood near you, but we need to be prepared anyway. And this list of 10 things isn't just items, but strategies as well.
We recommend that you guys find a bag or a tub of something in a central location so that you can keep it so when stuff goes down, you know what to grab and where it's at.
You're not going to fumble through the dark?
No.
Tripping over things like the cat and stuff trying to find it? All right, here's 10 things you need to do and know and to prepare for blackouts this summer.
Food and water.
Of course, we have to start with food and water. It's the most essential thing. So let's start with water being the more essential. Have jugs in your basement. And, we've talked about so many times how much water to store, a gallon per person per day. That even goes more so for blackouts because you're going to be using it for more than just drinking and cooking your food, but...
Brushing your teeth, flushing the toilet.
Yep, brushing the toilet.
No.
Taking a bath, all those fun things. So yeah, definitely have some jugs of water in the basement for that situation. What else?
And you can also fill up your bathtub or your sinks to help hold too. That works.
Yeah, for us, we're on a well.
Yeah, if we're on a well, that means no power, no water.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're on tap, if you know the power outage is coming, you can fill up your bathtub. But it's kind of hard. But when the power outage does happen, and if you're on city water or town water, yeah, then you can fill up your bathtubs and fill up your sinks and keep as much water in there as possible. But you can't go wrong with having jugs in the basement anyway. Now, as far as cooking goes, I always recommend do whatever you can, or sorry, not cooking, but food, do whatever you can to make it so you don't have to cook.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, you probably are going to have a cooking source, and we'll talk about that in the video too, but why bother? The power's out. You don't want to cook and do all those things that you normally have to do, so canned food's great.
Yeah, those SpaghettiOs you've been wanting to eat are good.
Just open it up and put it in the microwave oven. Stick a couple candles in there to warm it up. I'm kidding. Do not do that. Okay. You can put it in the microwave oven, but it's not going to get very warm in there. Yeah. So possibly warm up some stuff, make it easier. But as far as cooking goes, I don't know. It's kind of optional. But you definitely want to have food. It's one of those things. So food and water is helpful. Let there be light, and behold, there was light. Yeah. So obviously having flashlights, headlamps. We've shown these things many times on the channel. Having things like lanterns, which can actually spread out the light so you can see what you're doing, actually works well. We picked these little guys up in a 3-pack somewhere years ago. Yeah. And we love these, man. They just keep going and going.
They're great because they have clips. You can hang them up on stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we take them in our tent and stuff too.
Yeah, and this is a solar one, which is really cool. It inflates, blow into it, and it grows, and it's great. It works really nice. So that's perfect to get.
Yeah, because I don't know if I ever told you about when your power goes out, your lights go out too. So having lots of different types of lights, and of course, if you're going to have the lights, you got to have the batteries too. In fact, I just had to change the batteries in this guy because it was dead. This one we usually keep in the basement because we get power outages here all the time. Uh-oh, it's kind of flickering on me. And having stationed lanterns, I guess the way to put it, around the house, it makes it easier. Although we have some kerosene lamps, hurricane lamps, we have...
lots of candles.
Candles.
Yeah.
Those are things that, unless you really need to, I wouldn't use those in the house. Because prior to electricity and lights, there used to be some serious house fires.
Yeah.
So be careful with candles and stuff, I would not recommend that. I recommend using these as long as you can anyway.
And glow sticks. Glow sticks are a really neat thing, especially if you have children or just for yourself. They're fun and entertaining, and you can get them even at the dollar store.
Yeah,
so.
They kind of typically last all night.
They do. They do.
They don't put out a lot of light, but they're fun.
Yep. Communication. And the most important thing is communication. There's lots of things that you can look at. You can look at ham radios. This here is a crank radio, which I think is an awesome thing. It has the weather, things going on you can hear. What else? Yeah,
that's the whole thing is if you're cut off where you're at, being cut off is a great thing sometimes, by the way. We've been cut off out here before. But you do want to know what kind of weather's coming. You want to know if civil unrest is heading your way, or some type of nuclear bomb or chemical trails or something. You want to be able to keep track of those things. And having something that doesn't rely on external power, like this radio. I've modeled this many times here. We love this thing because not only can you actually charge it solar or crank, but it can actually charge up some of your devices too. And like she said, with ham radio, that's good to be able to contact people and talk with them. Honestly, even if you know some of your neighbors nearby, you can actually get some walkie-talkies or CB radios
Yeah,
too.
that would work.
But you need to have some kind of outside communication source because, again, believe us, believe me, believe myself. We've been stranded here for 14 days.
Yeah.
And it's
pretty rough.
Yeah, getting a little stir crazy there. So having a communication is definitely not even just, it's not entertainment. I mean, although the kid have an entertainment. Oh! That was entertainment right there. That scared the daylights out of me. Yeah, so listening to music and stuff to keep your morale up and keep your heart racing, but also be able to actually know what's going on the outside is really important. Power. And although people got away without having power for, thousands of years, I just don't think they knew what they were missing. And now we have power. It's really tough to get by without it. You could do so many things with electricity. And of course, solar generators are all the rage now. Mm-hmm. There's so many different types. And we have a couple different ones that we recommend. For all these things, we'll put them in the description below for links on these. But you can get a small one, like a nice Jackery. You can actually get them for pretty good prices too.
Yeah.
Or you can get the bigger ones. We actually have a really big one also that really just cranks out and does a lot of stuff for us. But I think I actually get asked often, probably on the Facebook prepping page that we have, about using these solar chargers to solar generators to run freezers and fridges.
Yeah.
And they will, but they are limited. And unless your fridge is outside where you can actually put your solar generator to get recharged by the sun, it will probably run out over time. But I guess it depends on your blackout. So just make sure you schedule your blackouts to only be short term.
Short terms.
Yeah, exactly. But we also can obviously go with a gas generator.
Yeah.
Or a propane generator. Because we're not talking about the end of the world here with power outages. We're talking about just blackouts this summer. Yeah, things kind of, who knows the way things are going. Hey, we're going to have a brownout. Next thing you know, you have power loss
Maybe
forever.
It's prepping us for something.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we warned you. You know how the government is. That's not a warning. But yeah, actually having a gas generator, we have a couple gas generators. I'd like to get a propane one. Really? We have a big propane tank outside. It'd be nice to be able to tap into that. But, honestly, I'd rather rely on solar anyway. Yeah. We actually have a solar panel. It's really neat. That literally doesn't charge up like a solar generator, although it probably could. It actually has all the jacks and everything, so you can charge up your phone or charge up your computer straight from the solar panel. Yeah. So those are kind of nice too. So, I don't know, have some kind of power.
Yeah.
Some type of electricity would be really helpful.
Running appliances.
And clearly, there are lots of appliances you can run. You can have a small fridge or small ice maker, but having like a air conditioner.
Yeah, we have a portable one. We don't have AC other than that.
Yeah,
here.
We'd love to have central air.
That would be nice.
That's not going to run off a solar generator. Oh my gosh, it'd be nice. But yeah, honestly, we prefer not having central air because it makes you feel more alive. And you always have the constant temperature all the time, which makes you kind of cozy and lazy and not want to go outside. But when it's hot in here, it's nice to go outside and cool off a little bit.
It is.
But anyway, our solar generator can run our portable AC unit for 24 hours. And sometimes that's all you need. Just take a little bit of the edge off, like in one room. But, I think a lot of people, like I said, want to be able to run the big fridge, big freezer. And it's not a matter of convenience. It's a matter of your food spoilage.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you know it, but in your fridge, if the temperature goes as little as up to 40 degrees, which isn't much, that's just, 8 degrees above freezing, it could
start spoiling
spoil food. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So having something to be able to run your appliances, at least the refrigerator, freezer, and your big screen TV, is actually important. And sometimes solar generators can't cut it for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And therefore having like a gas generator might be
beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah. And also they tell you too, if there's going to be a blackout, we never do this. So you should. Don't learn by our example. You're supposed to unplug all your appliances.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Because when the power comes back on, it can actually cause power surges and it can fry your equipment.
Oh.
And the reason we never do is because we never have them and our equipment's never fried before, so we're like hoping it'll never happen anyway. Isn't that how as humans we do things?
We learn the hard way.
Yeah, it's never happened to me before. Like when I was a kid, I never wore a seatbelt. I'm still alive. Yeah, because you didn't get into a fatal car crash. We're not getting into that discussion. Climate control. So having a cozy climate is great, especially, and you know what I'm talking about, especially when it's time for sleeping. During the day, you may be able to walk around or sit miserably or sweating to death, whatever, but when you're trying to lay down and sleep and sweat, that is the worst sleep you'll ever have. So again, actually having a portable air conditioner unit is helpful for that. But again, it's not, even though ours portable and can be run off of our solar generator, may not be the best option. I mean, there are other options.
Yeah, fans especially. You can get all kinds of different fans, and I'm telling you, sleeping with fans is amazing.
Isn't it incredible how much a fan makes?
It does. It really makes a difference.
Yeah, and it's hard for us, especially since we don't have central air in this house, that when we're filming, okay, guys, everybody shut the fans off. And suddenly it's like quiet and still.
It's like, oh,
and
we're dying
warm,
in here.
exactly, a little warm. Yeah, so it's one of the things we have to deal with. But I don't know, I find, I mean, you can, through a solar generator, you can run fans, a whole bunch of them for a long time compared to running an air conditioner compressor, even if it's a smaller conditioner compressor. So fans and climate control obviously is a good thing.
Keeping warm.
So find a way to keep warm. Those little hand warmers, it's not going to cut it.
No.
Not even close. Or a little candle. I've heard people say, oh, you can just take a candle to keep you warm. Oh, well, that candle will do nothing. And
Give you light.
You actually are sitting in a room sometimes with a heater going and your freezer took us off. I've heard people say that. I don't think those people live up north.
No, I'm sorry. Candle and warmers won't do you.
Yeah, so, I mean, a couple options. We always say, way ahead of time, you need to put in a wood stove. Wood stove is like essential for prepping, period. You can heat with it. You can cook with it. You can heat and cook with it. It's great. I mean, but this is a, what is it, kerosene?
Yep, kerosene
heater.
burner.
We always have, yeah, kerosene burner. We have one of these also. Sometimes like in one of the basement rooms, we'll turn it on for a little bit. We've had one of these ever since we first got married.
Yeah, I grew up with them. That's how we heated our house a lot. So.
And you even get that smell. You're like,
You
do. that one thing. But I can't stress this enough. If you have something like a wood stove or a kerosene burner, you need to have a carbon monoxide detector. You have to have one. And that's a problem too, because if the power's out, you got to get one that works still. Because carbon monoxide, it is anytime you burn anything combustible. And that's why they tell you, by the way, that you'd never want to run your oven in your kitchen to keep your house warm when you're in a power outage. I mean, most ovens don't work anyway, even if you're on gas. But what happens is when this burns, it actually produces carbon monoxide, which spills down. It's a heavy gas. And once you start breathing it, it'll, you know, essentially speaking, suffocate you.
Yeah.
It'll actually will kick the oxygen off your red blood cells and take its place, and you'll die. It's
So if
really
you
scary.
do get it, what do they call it?
Carbon monoxide.
Don't put them up high. Put it down low. Well, that I've seen a lot of people make mistakes. They put it up high, like the fire alarms, and it won't do you any good.
I know.
Yeah.
That's a great tip, Ash. It's amazing how many people do that. I've actually seen alarm companies do this.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, you probably remember this. That's all I had was smoke detectors. And then suddenly the carbon monoxide detector is, oh, I'll put it right here next to the smoke detector. You're already dead by the time it goes off.
It's too late by then, so definitely down below.
It's got to be on the floor.
Yep.
Because it'll creep along the floor and set it off first and then start rising up from there. If it doesn't work, you'll see the pets go down first. But anyways, yeah, so obviously you need to find a way to keep warm. Putting up blankets and stuff to isolate a room is actually important as well. Our house is really big.
Yeah, it's tall.
And that worries me. It very much worries me if crap hits the fan. We're not talking about power outages, but if crap hits the fan, I think what we're going to do to survive is we're going to have to section off just the living room area and put blankets there to keep the whole area warm, because there's no way. I mean, our wood stove will heat the entire house, but that also means we're not going to have gas to cut our 20 cords of wood.
Yeah, that we go through.
We need power for that kind of stuff. I mean, we do have those electric chainsaws now, but man, the amount of chainsawing we do, I couldn't imagine them keeping up. I don't know. Maybe you can help us with that. You have an electric chainsaw, anybody, see if they work well? We have an electric log splitter that does okay, but the gas ones work really well. Yeah, so anyway, you need to be able to heat your house, and you got to stay warm. And so having some type of device to heat your room, and then also putting in blankets, and even a tent. Some people put a pop-up tent will actually help keep you warm too. But it gets stuffy inside those.
They do.
All right, so I hope that helps as far as like heating goes. Cooking. So we mentioned before, you may actually not want to do a lot of cooking with power outages. You might. I mean, you can get by doing some of it. But heating and warming stuff is at least. And we actually have a gas stove. Our gas range will work if there's a power outage, which is so convenient. We love it, love it, love it. It is nice. But there's a lot of other options too. Like a barbecue grill.
Yep, exactly.
We actually have a big propane one outside that's really nice. But if you don't have a barbecue grill, I'll tell you right now, that actually may be one of your best bets, is buy one, like a little portable one. They're like $30.
Are they?
Just for this purpose.
Yeah,
for having power outages. So you have something to cook with. Another option is this beauty right here. This is the Biolite. I'm in love with the Biolite. And we actually have a lot of different cooking sources, like a Kettle and stuff. We have a lot of them. But the Biolite is such an amazing piece of technology for the fact that, I'm not going to do this kind of loud, You press this button here, and it puts air into the chamber, and then it becomes a rocket stove.
Yep.
And man, does it cook.
And it's small, and you can keep it in a place, but we have a couple of them, so.
Yeah, the other one is like super rusty because we've had it and used
Ever.
it forever. But we love putting like a pine cone in here.
Yes, it's amazing
And
what you can cook off of that.
The rocket that comes out of this, even NASA would be proud. I mean, it's pretty impressive. But then once it actually gets hot enough and there's enough hot air coming out, then it'll actually will start pulling in air, and this becomes a USB charger.
Yeah, we charge up our phones. Yep.
We're going to be modeling a few different types of Biolites this summer, which is super exciting. But I mean, this seems to be one of those things. It doesn't need to be said, but it needs to be said. Obviously, you're not going to use this inside your house.
Yeah.
You're not going to use your barbecue grill inside your house. You're not going to use your turkey fryer.
Yeah, don't be a statistic.
Turkey fryer. You hear about those every Thanksgiving that somebody says, I was trying to fry my turkey in my living room. I'm scared of my turkey fryer outside. Those things are
dangerous,
violent.
man.
Yeah. So anyway, you need to have, well, you don't need to. You can actually eat cold canned food all day long. You're fine. But if you actually have something to at least warm up your food, it's going to make your power outages much more palatable.
Exactly.
They're palatable.
Yeah, SpaghettiOs cold are not good.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Prepare ahead of time. Now, if you know the blackouts are coming, definitely be prepared. Fill up your gas tank on your car, your propane on your barbecue grill, or if that's how you heat your house, do it that way too.
Yeah, because if we're talking about a long-term or a widespread blackout, which, still might happen.
Yeah.
In that situation, that gas station may not have the electricity to pump gas to your car. And could you imagine getting stuck with a quarter of a tank? Yeah. Or propane for your grill outside may not actually have enough. I mean, you can, by the way, take out the innards of your grill, and they come out very easily, by the way, and you can actually turn it into a wood barbecue. It doesn't work as well, but it works. But nevertheless, though, if you can prepare ahead of time and have those things ready just to be on the safe side, have your propane tanks filled up, and then, instead of actually letting your car go down to a quarter tank or less, maybe like every time you get to a half a tank, go ahead and fill it up. I mean, the way gas prices are going up anyway.
You don't want to go down because it costs too much?
I would actually fill it up every day to work
I know.
Before it keeps going up and up. But yeah, obviously, you can't really prepare for a blackout very well except for just trying to stay on top of these things. Entertainment.
Now, we're saving the best for last, guys. This one, I think, is very important, especially if you have younger children, even for yourself, because who wants to just sit and be crazy, bored?
I want to watch TV. Put a candle.
It's not going to work.
Put a candle behind it or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're unless you have a really nice, sophisticated generator system, which I don't. You're not going to be watching TV.
No.
You're not going to be.
No music.
Yeah, not much music. Your little box can play music, but no video games, no movies, no fun.
It's time to bring out those books and crossword puzzles.
Oh yeah, or like for us, we're such huge board games and card games fans.
Big time.
We have a big cabinet full, and as a family, we often play games.
We do.
Lots and lots of them. We have some of our favorites, but there's other ones where like, we haven't played this one in years, let's give it a try. But we're always playing games. And I've mentioned before, I don't care if it's shit hits the fan, I don't care if it's a blackout, you need to have your morale up. Especially if you have kids. You gotta show that everything's gonna be fine. Even if things aren't gonna be fine, you gotta show everything's gonna be fine, because your entire health will change if you think everything's going to cave in. So playing games and doing stuff. But, the biggest thing is, especially when it's warm and the power's out and stuff, let's go outside.
Yeah.
That's what we do, spend a lot of time outdoors. Even after dark, we'll lay down on the deck and look at the stars and just enjoy the silence of not having 3 million things going on at once.
Exactly. Enjoy that.
Exactly. So there's your 10 things that you're gonna need for your tub or your bag. In fact, our kids, we have so many power outages here. Every one of our kids actually have their own bag.
They do. They have a few activities and lanterns.
It's a small bag, but they have a lantern in there. And I bought, like, one kid has this card game, another one has like a little bowling set. They have a whole bunch of things in there. And in that way, they actually look forward to blackouts. They're like, yes, I got my bag out. So it's ways you can actually try to make it work.
Exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and continue on and watch this next video. And thanks for following along and watching.